Right. What was the biggest like turning point you think that caused everybody to fall out? Was it President Trump? Was it the vaccines?
If I'm a professional athlete, I don't want to get a shot. I'm not getting a shot. I could go on all day, Brandon, about how annoying it is to me and how not fair it is to have these dudes competing against our women. I'm going to the men's bathroom. There should be a man and women's restroom, and that's it. It drives me crazy, all the things that we have to choose between now. But what Trump is doing right now is exactly what I want him to do. Get rid of everyone who's not supposed to be here. You may not like it, but a lot of us voted for it. More than half the country voted for it, and he's doing what we want him to do.
I thought I was going to be a running back. To be honest, I should have been a running back, but my legs were skinny.
I should have been a quarterback, but go ahead.
You think you should really? And then you watch the film and are they making the passes they supposed to make? Are their drop backs good? Are they, are they calling huddle,
yes.
Audibles and stuff? And they're a problem. Who was the biggest problem for you? This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, ladies and gentlemen, tis the season for 4th of July. So get you some 4th of July merch. Make sure you put USA 20 to get 20% off. We got the brand new Trump. This Uncle Trump, boy. This shirt's so cool, man. I cannot wait for them to finish printing mine so I can wear it and show you. But that is an incredible shirt. I think some people will like this one. I love this one. It's very simple. And this one right here is incredible as well. Nobody's making merch as cool as the Officer Tatum store. They're just not doing it. So put in USA 20. Also, we have 2-day shipping available. We negotiated a deal with FedEx to get us incredible pricing on 2-day shipping. So that's all we do is 2-day shipping. Just so you know, I want everybody to be clear. 2 days after the product has been fulfilled. So it takes about 24 to 48 hours for the product to be fulfilled. And then the shipping will be 2-day shipping. There's nobody on the internet, unless they work with Amazon, to get you a product that's going to be fulfilled at the volume that we do in less than 24 hours. Now, some people do get their product less than 24 hours, but just as a rule of thumb, give us about 24 hours to fulfill, 24 to 48 hours to fulfill, and then we will ship it to you in 2 days. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get your merch today. But I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I've been looking forward to talk to you for a long time. I really do appreciate your stance, man. And I know it ain't easy because I got a lot of other friends that I know who played in the NFL, some of which are prominent NFL players, were NFL players. I have some on both sides, right? One guy, he played linebacker for, I don't want to say his name, but he played linebacker for the Eagles. I think he was a Hall of Fame. I think he made the Hall of Fame. He played linebacker for the Eagles, and that dude, every single day, he's crying about racism and all this other stuff. Yeah. But I know it's got to be hard, Brian. Maybe not hard for you. You've dealt with tougher things, but it's got to be a challenge to a certain degree of being an open conservative and being a prominent NFL superstar, or obviously retired.
Yeah, it's much easier now than it was 4 or 5 years ago. I'll tell you that much. People I feel like the tide's finally starting to turn. It's been more cool to be conservative. And honestly, when I played, I didn't know what I was. I didn't care. We didn't talk about it back when I played. It was not an issue. And then I retired, still wasn't an issue. And then you get 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, that's when it became an issue. Everyone got, you had to pick a side, or you couldn't talk to people. It wasn't as bad until in 2020 is when it really, I guess, there's a lot of teammates I don't talk to anymore. And I call them teammates. I thought they were friends, but there are more teammates than friends. And I figured it out the hard way, but that's okay. I feel like I'm on the right side of this. There's a lot of, the 80-20 issues are all on our side, right? There's no 80-20 other way. It's all our side with the trans stuff, the border and stuff. We're on the right side of those issues, but it's just people are hard-headed. They believe what they believe. I'm okay with people believing what they believe. I got no problem with it, but there's certain things that just aren't right and that are going on.
Right. What was the biggest like turning point you think that caused everybody to fall out? Was it President Trump? Was it the vaccines? Like, what do you think was the crux? Because a lot of it happened in 2020. What do you think like tipped it over where everybody was like, you either on this side or this side?
Well, the George Floyd thing didn't help. That was a big deal as well. The vaccines, we didn't get it. A lot of people got it. And I could not believe the divide on that. I mean, if I'm a professional athlete, I don't want to get a shot. I'm not getting a shot. I mean, I know how my body performs. I know what I can do. I know what goes into my body. I'm not putting a foreign substance in there that I don't know how my body's going to react. And the Trump thing, I mean, in 2016, I didn't even vote. Honestly, I lived in Chicago still. I didn't even vote, man. We were residents of there because I knew the state was going to go blue either way, so it didn't matter. But obviously 2020 and 24, I voted for President Trump. But yeah, the George Floyd thing was a big deal. You know, you look at social media and the way that was handled, the way it was portrayed out there, that was a big deal, I think, with a lot of people going certain directions and picking sides and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, man. It's an absolute shame. I think people decided to hate me way back in like 2016 when Trump ran the first time. And I mean, everybody, people at my church, dudes that I played ball with in college and in high school. I mean, I was beloved in high school. You know, I was the man coming out of high school. I was an All-American. Then I went to U of A. And although my career didn't go the way I wanted to, I still was friends with a lot of guys on the team because nobody was polarized back then.
Yeah, it
was,
didn't matter.
you know, it didn't, nobody cared. Nobody cared. There was no gender stuff like we see today. It was no real divisive stuff. I mean, we all played on the team together. There was no race stuff. Nobody cared about race. We made fun of each other, black, white, whether you came from California, Texas, and nobody cared. But when Trump got elected, man, I mean, I was an Uncle Tom sellout. You know, one of my friends, he played for the Steelers. You know, he wasn't very good, if you ask me, at all. But he played for the Steelers, and he was mostly like practice squad and like special teams. He called me we went to church together one time. I thought he was my friend. He called me an Oreo cookie on a live stream like a couple years ago. And I'm like, really, dude? You disagree with me politically?
Friend.
Yeah. I thought we went to church together. I thought we were friends. But anyway, it's sad to hear all of that going on. But I want to know your thoughts, man, about the sport thing. Obviously, you have, I don't know how much you want to disclose, but at least I follow, you know, one of your sons or your son on social media. Seems like a tremendous athlete.
He's a good athlete,
and so do you have any daughters?
So I have two daughters. Yeah, I have a 24-year-old. I have 24, 20, and 19. So we're done. They're all in college or doing other things. I have one in law school. She's the oldest, and my middle daughter's home, and then my son's at USC now. I just transferred from Notre Dame to USC. But you're talking about the women's and sports? I'm sorry, the men and women's sports?
Yeah, exactly. Because you got daughters. You understand what this is. And just, you know, I want to know your reaction, like being a father of, you know, of daughters. And what do you think about this whole women in sports? I mean, men and women's sports thing.
I don't understand the logic of even beginning to think it's okay. I understand when they're smaller, when they're like before 8 to 10 years old, they're playing co-ed. I'm cool with that. You know, they're all the girls usually ahead of the boys back then anyway. They develop faster, so I'm okay with that. But once they get to a certain age, men should not be in women's sports. You got these dudes saying, you know, transitioning or whatever they're doing to be a woman, and they're playing. I just, you know, Illinois. It's okay to do it in Illinois right now. I've seen a lot of stuff online about that, how they're really pushing for it. You know, you got another track, another man who won some events at the state track meet. California, it's not a big deal. They do, that's just normal, commonplace out there. In Minnesota, there was or Michigan, one of those, the pitcher, the softball pitcher, 6'1" man pitching against women. I just don't see how that's ever okay in someone's mind. The physical differences between us are unreal. And the only way they can stand up for themselves is not to compete. So they have to punish themselves by not competing against these men to get people to actually pay attention or get more eyes on them. It's not fair to them. I could go on all day, Brandon, about how annoying it is to me and how not fair it is to have these dudes competing against our women.
Yeah, I mean, you would know just as well as anybody how much more dominant men are than women. I mean, just imagine you, Brian, if you were like, I'm gonna transition.
I mean, there's a couple sports like tennis and golf. We got no chance. We're not going to go out there and say, all right, I'm going to play with the women and do well, because you're not. Those two sports are different.
Yeah, but I tell you what, man, you put on you turn into a girl. You be killing them in basketball, killing them in track and field, throwing the discus, shot put, running the 400. I mean, you would dominate women in just about any physical sport that there is, even in retirement, and everybody knows that.
It seems like common sense to me. You know, that word gets thrown around a lot these days because it should be common sense that should not happen. And I think this is a 95-5 issue, in my opinion. It's not 80-20. It's 95. There's 5% of the people in the country that think it's okay for this to happen. And those are people you see in the streets. You know, they got the paid people that go to these damn rallies, and they get their $200 a day, and they cause chaos. But you think it's more than it is. It's not. They're the people out there making all the waves. But it's a 95-5 issue. Shouldn't be allowed. And I think, you know, eventually it's not going to be, but there's still some people fighting pretty hard for it. I just don't understand it as a dude competing against these girls. How are you okay with that? How are you like, I'm beating up on girls? I'm a bad dude. I mean, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I look at it and I say, you know, a lot of people look at it kind of in a vacuum and they see the finished product, right? They act like all of a sudden, or this person has been living like this their whole life and they had no
Yeah.
idea they were talented, like as if they never went to practice, as if they
Mhm.
never trained, or they never did a PR, they never even played sports before. And one day they woke up and just start to pitch, and then all of a sudden they're better than
They're
everybody.
good.
It
Yeah.
it didn't happen like that. These people were boys playing, competing. They knew what time they ran in the 40. They knew what
Yep.
time they ran in the 100-meter dash, the hurdles. They knew all of these numbers. Leah Thomas knew his swimming
Oh
numbers
man.
before he transitioned. And then Brian, when they transition, they still got to practice with the girls. So in
Yes.
practice, before you go to a competition in a meet, you know you killing it, which is
Well,
your same PR times you did as a boy.
as a boy, but you were like 500th in the world, or in college as a boy, and you go to the women's and you're number one. I mean, that's the difference, right? How about they had to change in the locker room with this dude? I did an event with Riley Gaines. I know you've done some stuff with her as well, and she's talking about the situation in the locker room. This dude had his locker just sitting there naked, and they have to change in front of him. I can't fathom putting my daughter in that situation, or having them have like the NCAA was okay with it. Like,
Yeah.
how does that make sense in anyone's mind that you have a dude sitting here naked, looking at girls changing in a locker room, and you're supposed to be okay with it? No, I don't understand that.
Right. And the thing is also the thing that's more, I would say, even weirder than that, is that the dude allegedly still like women and date women.
The
Can you
lesbian.
imagine?
So
Right.
he's
Yeah, he's a
transitioning.
lesbian now.
He's a lesbian. Yeah, he's
You might as well
transitioning.
stay a dude if you go be with
I'm a
women
lesbian too.
anyway.
I'm a lesbian. I like women.
Yeah.
I like my wife. Sorry. So yeah, it's just he got away with it. I mean, he broke every rule there was and got away with it. You know, I don't know what he's doing now, but it's coming to light. You know, after the fact, of course, after he wins all these medals and championships and stuff, and these girls suffer. Like they lose their rankings, they lose medals, championships they could have won because a dude wants to jump over and swim with them, and they let it happen.
Right. And it's almost on a record book in perpetuity, you know, because after all is said and done, are they going to go back if they decide to say, you know, we're not going to allow this anymore? Are they going to go back and fix the
Yeah.
record? Right. You know, are they going to go back, put an asterisk next to the name of a dude that was number one of broke records in California, in the state of Washington? It's insane.
Put them in their own category. Put them in the transgender category. You know, you can say these are our actual women's records. These are transgender records, and then there's men's records. If you want to do that, do that. I just don't think you can put them in with the women and have them contain those, or have those records. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Right. And I think I'm glad you said it. I think it's a 95-5 issue too, man. I mean, 5% people are. What Brian? Why do you think they're doing this though? Because it's, you know, everything that I think about is like, it's not about the what they're doing. You know, it's about why they're doing it. Like, why do they want this to be a thing where they're confusing people about what the man is, what a woman is? Men can get pregnant. You know,
It
all
is
this so
confusion.
crazy stuff.
It's a mental issue. I just, maybe they're trying to see how far they can go and how far they can take it, or how much they can get away with. I don't understand the reasoning behind it, because if you think about it, as a normal person, as a free thinking person, it makes no sense to have any of this stuff happen, or have I can't stand when I go to the airport and there's a double bathroom, or you have to go pick I mean, I'm going to the men's bathroom. There should be a man and a woman's restroom, and that's it. It drives me crazy, all the things that we have to choose between now. There's only one or two. That's it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when it comes to this immigration stuff, because I like to ask you about these top issues,
Yeah.
because, you know, I know for a fact, I mean, at this point, that you obviously supported Trump, voted for Trump. You just mentioned
For
you
sure.
voted for him twice. You know, what do you think about this immigration stuff? You know, the way Trump is handling immigration in California and around the country. What's your thoughts on that?
He did exactly what he told us he was going to do. You know, we live in Arizona, so I've actually been down to the border twice when Beijing Biden was in office. We went down there and checked the border out. Man, the crazy thing, Brandon, what these officers had to endure on a daily basis, seeing these young girls come across the border, or like the things they were like. I mean, they couldn't do their job because everybody's taking care of these kids that came across the border after enduring whatever they had to go through to get across the border with the cartels and the people and the rapists. But what Trump is doing right now is exactly what I want him to do. Get rid of everyone who's not supposed to be here. I understand there should be people here who came about the right way, but he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. You may not like it, but a lot of us voted for it. More than half the country voted for it, and he's doing what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I mean, I don't know what campaign trail people were following, but Donald Trump said he's going to do exactly what he did, and people voted for him.
Yeah,
he won all the swing states. He won
has
the
a
popular
mandate.
vote.
He was given a mandate by the American people to do what he's doing. And you don't have to like it, and I understand the left people are going nuts about it, and you see the paid protests again all over the place. But this is what his mandate is. The American people mandated him to do this, and he's doing it. He told us he was going to.
Yeah, and if he didn't do this, and he didn't put his neck out there, I don't think we would have a country. I really don't believe we would. If these, like you say, Beijing Biden, geriatric Joe is what I call him.
Oh man,
if these people had gotten into office again, or Kamala Harris, what do you think would have happened to America if they'd have had an opportunity to get 4 more years?
I can't even imagine, Brandon. It wouldn't be America. I mean, because I assume the border would stay open. I don't see why they would change his policies. She said she wasn't going to change anything. She liked everything he did. When she went on that show with all the girls, and she said that I agree with everything he's done. I wouldn't change anything. Blah blah blah. But I can't even fathom what it would be like right now in this country if he hadn't won. But he had to win. There's no way that Americans are too smart not to see what was going on and go in there and change it. There's too many of us that think alike and know how it should be to not vote him into office.
Yeah, I agree. And let me do this on a more personal note, man, because obviously you're a legend, and I've been watching you play for so long. And on a personal note, when you play safety in college, did you have an opportunity to play safety in the NFL, or did they just convert you to linebacker? I mean, were you playing box safety when you were in college, or how did that work?
No. So, Brandon, I played free safety in high school. I played free safety and wideout in high school. I was first team All-State both ways, offense and defense both ways. And then in college, Coach Long came in my sophomore year, and we had like a rover position. It was free safety. Just go to the ball, man. I lined up 12 yards deep in the middle of the field pretty much every play and breathe that front side guard. If he stood up, I dropped back. If he blocked down, I came downhill as fast as I could. In the NFL, I knew I was too big, man. I was 255 pounds. At the combine, I was 6'4", 258. And I think my time was a 4.56 or 4.57 in the 40. So not quite fast enough to play safety, but a really fast linebacker. So I knew I was going to be a linebacker. I was cool with that. I just had to, learn how to get off blocks and how to run to the ball differently from in the box there.
Well, how big were you in college though, as a safety?
245 is what I played at my last 2 years. Yeah, I was 6'4", 245. Brandon, it was crazy. The more weight I gained in college, the faster I got, man. It was crazy. High school same way, but the more muscle I put on, the faster I got. It was our trainers and our strength coach did a good job.
That's crazy. It's unbelievable. I mean, I see people. The biggest safety that I remember watching play was Taylor Mays. He played for USC. Me and him became really good friends.
He was good.
Yeah, he was big. He was big, man.
And I
think he should. Yeah, Sean Taylor was big.
6'3",
Sean Taylor
20, he was different.
Yeah, Sean Taylor, in my opinion, was different than anybody I've ever seen play football. And the reason that I say that is because he played safety just as good as any corner could play with coverage. He was a hard hitter. He was tall, rangy. And in college, he returned punts. He returned kicks. He played wide receiver. He played safety. He could have played linebacker.
He was awesome, man.
He had 10 interceptions, and I think his junior year,
at
Miami, and he dropped like 6 or 7 of them that I was watching.
Maybe that's why I didn't play receiver. That dude, I mean, athletically and physically was just different, man. His body, I think Sean was drafted was it 2001 or I don't know what year he was drafted.
It was like 03, I think.
So he was a little bit after I got drafted, but he was different. You could see that guy was going to be different. Obviously, sad what happened to him, but he was a bad dude.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite players, man. He's one of my favorite players.
He knocked the piss out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime the hitting the Pro Bowl on the punter in 2004 or 5 I'm not surprised that dude got up, man.
Yeah, I thought he was dead, to be honest. I mean, I think he died for a little bit. I mean, he was like, and then he popped up.
He popped up. He got to pop up and make it look good in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, so I'll ask you some other questions. I know the people that are watching me, they love you talk about politics, but man, it's rare to get a guy like you on the podcast that, was so prolific, played for so long. Who was your most, I guess, the running back that you prepared for, that you were like, all right, this guy's going to be a problem for us?
Yeah. Dude, I had a hard time with Ricky Williams. So Ricky's 5'10", 240, ran a 4.3 or 4.4. So I'm 6'4". I could not get under Ricky.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, the collisions were good, but he had some good games against us. We had some good games against him. I think I played against him 5 or 6 times, but physically, just that body type, I didn't like that. Jerome Bettis, obviously. Jerome's 5'11", 260 back in the day. And then another guy, Adrian Pearson, was in our division. He's a pain in the ass, too. He was tough to deal with. He was so fast. He literally got the ball. He was at full speed when he got the ball. And he would hit those creases and go. But they're all great in the NFL. There's a reason they're in the NFL. They're all great. But those 3 guys right there were pretty tough.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that because I think Ricky Williams is probably one of the most underrated running backs, I think, because he was incredible in college at the University of Texas. And I followed him. I was a Horns fan forever until I went to college and they didn't offer me a scholarship. But, I was a Horns fan. Cedric Benson was my favorite. You played with Ced.
Yep.
Man. I mean, Ced was my
5. We drafted him.
Yeah, he was my. I wanted to be just like Cedric Benson. I'm gonna tell you a quick story.
All right.
I thought I was gonna be a running back. To be honest, I should have been a running back, but my legs were skinny.
I should have been a quarterback. But go ahead.
You think you should really?
Go ahead. Finish your story. Yeah.
I should have been a running back, man. They could not tackle me. When I would get the ball, I break 5-6 tackles. I just had an innate ability to.
How big were you, Brandon?
I mean, I was kind of little in high school. I think I was like, my senior year, I was 6'2", like 180, 185. But I ran a 4.3. I had a 44-inch vertical, so I was explosive.
So you were different.
And then,
like my son.
Yeah, your son. I watched him too. I saw a couple plays in Notre Dame when he got in. I was like,
hell, man.
He good. He got it.
He's good, solid.
So I thought I should be a running back. So all the years that I play safety, even though I play safety and everything, I always dreamed about being like Cedric Benson. And man, Cedric Benson, it's the weirdest thing ever. Cedric Benson was like duck-footed, man. You know how he slew-footed, he gets feet like this.
You're exactly right.
I remember I used to go. It's the weirdest thing you ever gonna hear. So don't judge me.
All right.
I want to be like Cedric Benson so bad, and I'm not like my feet like this. I'm pigeon-toed. I used to sleep in the bed, and I used to have my feet out like this because one day I was gonna look just like Cedric Benson when I come out to go and cut and do.
That dude in college was unbelievable.
I mean, he was.
Every time he touched the ball, it was 20 yards. And then the thing about Ced, because we had him for I think three years when I was there, his shoulders were always square to the line of scrimmage. Like he never got sideways. It was always his cuts were lateral and downhill. And he had some health issues when we got him, but we traded Thomas Jones after he drafted him too, which pissed me off. But Cedric was a good football player. Sad what happened to him as well, man. That he passed away in a motorcycle wreck a couple of years ago. Way too young, but he had a nice career in the NFL. Great college player, but he just couldn't stay as healthy as he probably wanted to in the NFL. Yeah. So who was you could say one of your favorite defensive players, like linebackers in the NFL? I mean, obviously you were the greatest, but who else? Besides Lance, because you just biased. Lance is a badass dude. 10 years side. I'll talk about Lance side by side with that dude for 10 years. The most instinctive football player I've ever been, and the most fun guy on the field to be around. I mean, being at work every day, Brandon, imagine going to work every day for 10 hours hanging out with 55 of your buddies. You're going to meetings, you're going to practice, you're in the locker room playing stupid games between meetings. Man, I love going to work every day. It was a blast. But the guy so I met this guy when I was in high school at a Texas Tech football camp, Zach Thomas, man. That dude was a badass. So I went to I was a junior, and I grew up 70 miles from Lubbock, and I got invited there to football camp. So I went, and I saw Zach Thomas in the weight room. And Zach was a senior at the time, so he was exactly 4 or 5 years older than me. And I got a chance to meet him. He was in there from the time we started camp at 8 in the morning until we got done at 12:30 for the first session. He was still in the weight room when I got done. 4.5. Who the hell works out for 4.5 hours, man? But yeah, he was my guy. Great NFL player as well. Just got in the Hall of Fame finally a couple years ago, as he should have. But he was my dude. I like watching Zach. Just got a chance to meet him in high school, and then I watched him through the NFL.
Yeah, my last question about players, and then I want to ask you a little bit about what you're doing, since you've retired and some of the cool things that you're doing moving forward. But the quarterback, who was watching film, because I know a lot of people do see, the one thing about playing football, like actually playing the game and watching film, you see things that the public don't see, because some people are hype, and then you watch the film and are they making the passes they supposed to make? Are their dropbacks good? Are they are they calling huddle, audibles and stuff, and they're a problem. Who was the biggest problem for you?
Aaron Rodgers. So we played. He was in our division, so we play him twice a year. And there's all those great guys that are like him. You go to the line of scrimmage and know exactly what defense you're in every single play. And now they do the little dummy, or he did the dummy count where they try to undress your defense to show you what you're in. And as a defense, we have to move because we have to be aligned properly when the ball snap or run to your coverage, whatever. You know how it is. But that dude knew what every defense we were in, every play, knew all of our checks, because he knew our communication over there. Brett was the same way. He knew all of our communication. But Tom's the same way. Peyton, Drew, Phillip Rivers, all those guys are all on the same level where they know exactly what you're doing pre-snap every play, so you're not going to fool them. And then Aaron brought that element of being able to move around a little bit. My all-time favorite quarterback, though, Michael Vick. I love that dude.
Oh, really?
Man, so he got drafted my second year. I love playing against him because he's such a big challenge, but I just like him, man. He's a good dude. He's fun to be around after post-football, being around him a few times. And I was such a fan when he played because he was different. He was the Lamar Jackson, the Josh Allen's, Lamar Jackson's. He's the first guy that actually ran the football and just changed the game from the quarterback position. He was fun to play against, too.
Yeah, that's great, man. What defense did you guys run in Chicago? Did you run a gap defense?
We did. Solo gaps, pretty much. We ran cover 2. We would 2 gap a little bit as linebackers. Lance and I would. But if it's cover 3 or cover 1, one gap. That was it. And it was easy.
I think we ran the same defense you guys ran at the University of Arizona. Mike Stoops ran that gap defense, where we would have, the free safety was actually just, he would come down in the box and, do run fit. If obviously run away, he got the A gap, or he keep the edge on the
cut
side.
Back, all that stuff.
To Tampa and stuff like that.
Tampa, too, was great. That's all we ran. We literally played Green Bay one year. We had 47 snaps, 46 were cover 2. And we beat them. I mean, you know why we did that, Brandon? Because we were good at it. We didn't have to think. We didn't make mistakes. And as you know, if you don't make mistakes, you're gonna have a good chance to win the game. Yeah. So we didn't make mistakes, and we could run to the football. Just play fast and get there mad and hit the guy with the ball.
Yeah, man, I love it, man. I love it. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me, man, because just as much as politics is fun to me, to be honest, I love football, man. I played for a while. Too. I wish I'd have went to the league, but things didn't really work out for me like that. But what are you doing now? I follow you on social media, man. I see you golfing everywhere and doing
around,
things.
Man. Yeah, you said it. Yeah, messing around. We love to go fishing. We just got back from fishing. We have a place down in Naples, Florida as well. We have a boat down there. I've been going there for since 2010. I love fishing, offshore fishing. I grew up fishing in ponds and lakes, which is great for what I could do. But now that we have more possibilities to get out there, we go offshore in the Gulf of America. We get out there and go fishing. My kids love it. But like I said, I got 3 kids. Last season we were at every my son was at Notre Dame last year, so we went to every damn game on the road or home. So, and they went to the national championship. So we traveled every weekend during football season. My oldest daughter is going to be her last year of law school at Marquette, and my middle daughter just came home from Kansas. A month ago. She's going to go to music school. So yeah, just hang out with the kids, golfing here in Arizona. The weather's great. My wife keeps me busy at the house. We got a few animals. We have 4 dogs. So we got rid of the kids, but we got 4 dogs. So not really empty nesters at all.
That's hilarious, man. I'm going to have to come golfing with you sometime. First of all, I'm trash.
That's okay.
At golf.
I play with worse. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. Is that right? I don't know, man. Hey, I don't know. You may not have. I don't know. Nick is my video guy.
Well, you're an athlete.
I know, man, but I just, for some reason, man, my hand-eye coordination was never really that good. But I tell you what, if I practice a little bit, get some more reps at it, I think I could be pretty decent, because I can hit the ball far. When I make contact, it's good, but it's just.
Does it go everywhere?
Oh yeah, it's anywhere. I don't know where it goes.
Sometimes I got that problem too. That's why golf is such a great game. It's so challenging. One day it's one thing, the next day it's another. I love it and hate it at the same time. It's frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you, man. I know you're busy. You're a busy man. Got a lot going on, even busy. In your retirement. But I appreciate you, man. Thanks for following me, man. It meant a lot to me. I remember the first time I saw on Twitter, I said, Brian Urlacher follow me. Hey, Brian Urlacher's conservative. I'm like, God, that was like one of my greatest moments on social media.
You just have to keep it quiet, right? Now it doesn't really matter anymore. Everyone's finally coming out being conservative, and it's more cool than it was. Doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
perfect.
Doesn't
Where
make
can
sense
people go and follow you and follow your social media and stuff like that? And what you
yeah,
doing? Because I know you do work with charities and do
Yeah,
stuff like
mostly
that.
animal charities now. When I played, it was military and Special Olympics. Now my wife's got me in all these animal rescues, which is great. I love it, and we still do some military stuff. But I got an Instagram page. I don't really know. It's John, or it's I don't even know. I don't even know the name. It's Brian Urlacher 54 or something like that. But yeah, I like to go on there and just follow people. I don't really mess around too much on it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Every once in a while, I get some fights with some people on there, which is fun. Going back and forth these days is pretty common with the landscape of our country right now. You can get some people who get really mad really quick about something you post.
Yeah, tell me, I know about it.
It's fun.
Well, God bless you, brother, man. Thank you so
you
much for coming on, man. We gotta connect here in Arizona
for sure.